This is an affirmation.
I want to talk to you about life. It's just too difficult, isn't it, to be alive and try to function? You have to deal with all these people. I tried to buy a can of tuna fish in the supermarket, and there's this person standing right in front of where I wanted to reach out and grab the can of tuna fish. I waited a while to see if they would move, and they didn't. They were looking at the can of fish too, but they were taking an awfully long time in it, reading each ingredient on the can like it was a book. A pretty boring book if you ask me, but nobody has. So I waited a while to see if they moved, and I couldn't get to the can of tuna fish, and I thought about asking them to move, but it just seemed so stupid for them not to have the sense that I needed to get by them, and I had an awful feeling that it would be no good at all if I asked them, and they'd probably say something like, "We'll move when we're ready, you goddamn nagging hag." And then what would I do? And so then I started to cry softly out of frustration, quietly, not to disturb anybody. But still, the stupid person didn't grasp that I needed to get by them. So I reached over with my fist and brought it down real hard on their head and yelled, "Would you kindly move, jerk?" And the person fell to the ground and looked totally startled. And some child nearby started to cry, and I was still crying. And I couldn't imagine making use of the tuna fish anymore. So then I yelled at the kid to stop crying. And I mean, it was drawing way too much attention to me anyways. And I ran out of the supermarket, and I thought, I'll take a taxi to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I need to be surrounded with culture right now, not tuna fish.
I was in the supermarket the other day, about to buy some tuna fish, when I sensed this very disturbed presence right behind me. There was something about her focus that made it very clear to me that she was a disturbed person. So I thought, you should never look at a crazed person directly. So I thought if I just kept looking at the tuna fish, the person would just walk away. Nope. Wham! This woman comes right behind me, hits me right on the head, and yells, "Would you kindly move, you jerk?" Now, why would she do that? It sounded like she had said, "Would you please move?" at some initial point so I could have known what her problem was. Well, admittedly, I don't always let people know how I'm feeling either. It's like those people in the movie theaters who keep talking and I can't really do anything about it, so I just give up and resent them for the rest of the movie. But on the other hand, I don't go up to them and hit them right on their heads. Analyzing this and looking at it in a positive light, this woman probably had some traumatic life experience that led her to this point in time of, hitting me in the supermarket. And perhaps if her life had been explained to me, I could have made some sense out of her action and how she got there. But even with that knowledge, which I didn't even have, by the way, it was my head she was hitting, which was so unfair. It makes me never want to leave my apartment ever, ever again. I am the predominant source of happiness in my life. I leave the pain in the present, and I leave the pain in the past. In the places in my body where pain lived previously, now there is light, love, and joy. Whew. That was an affirmation.
I used to be a very negative person, but then I took these personality workshops that totally turned my life around. Now if something bad or negative happens, I can see the positive. So when I'm having a really bad day, or when someone I thought was a really great friend, or maybe when those damn people riding bicycles comes down on an opposite one-way street. So of course, one hell of that direction, and there they are, bearing down you, about to kill or maim you. Anyway, I look at these feelings and I ask myself, this This glass is not half full, it is half empty. No, wait. Say it backwards. First habit. What I meant to say, that's not half empty, it is half full. Of course, if one of those stupid bicycles hits you, well then you won't be having a glass full or half empty. It'll be shattered to pieces, and you'll be dead or in the hospital. I promise I'm trying to be positive. That's what I'm doing with life these days. I was sick of not being joyful and happy. I was tired of personality. I had to change it. Half full, not empty. I had to say to myself, he's not have cancer. At least not today. You're not blind. You're not one of those starving children in India or China or in Africa. Look at the sunset. I look at the sunrise. Why don't you enjoy them for goodness sake? And now I do. Except if it's cloudy and you can't see the sun, or it's too cold, or it's too hot. I probably need to take a few more personality workshops to complete the whole process. This being whole positive business is not with my grasp just yet. But I am making great strides. My friends don't even recognize me.
And that was an affirmation.